No one's here yet. I'm always the first one here. Takes you guys so long. You guys are always slow. Pardon me. Dwayne's here. Ah, there's two people here. I'm always the first one here. You guys are just slacking. Chris, Brad, Bob. Anybody? Let's see. John. I'm gonna wait and get some people in here. What up? It's going. I'm feeling a lot better. I actually made it to the shop. I got some work done. I have this, Dwayne. This is yours. I have the pin profile set up. I did clean up on the spine. I did clean up in the finger choils and everything. There's still a little bit more cleanup here, but you know what? That's gonna come out in the wash when I do the grind. So not too concerned about that. I'm gonna knock that little, there's a little high spot still right there, a little ramped area. I'm gonna take off so that you guys can see it. A lot of you guys haven't seen it. This is the Gen 2. Well, hang on a second. Let's go in. We'll go grab a couple of things. Go grab a couple of things. Go grab them. No. Okay, so you guys know that's kind of it's like a joke between me and Dwayne. Hang on a second. Dirty optics. Dwayne has sent me 2 packages. I've sent them back, and I have. You guys, I'm sorry if I forget to put business cards in. I honestly am. Here's the thing. I got them. I got a whole fucking box of these things here. If you look down here, cancel that. Why isn't this letting me swap my camera? There it is. If you look here, this is where stuff comes in for sharpening and sits and gets sharpened and things like that. But down here on the bottom shelf, there's a whole freaking box of my business cards. I came in to grab the prototype of this and my prototype for my neck knife because there's 20 of y'all here and we're going to talk about it. I spent some time today, still not 100%. I got worn out real quick. I got stuff that's going in the oven tomorrow. I'm going to go up to Elliot's shop tomorrow and put like 4, I only got 4 things, 4 blades wrapped up and put in the oven, and I'm going to heat treat tomorrow 4 of my neck knives. So, and probably Dwayne's, I'll do Dwayne's Hornet. But, so we're talking about Gen 1, Gen 2 stuff because... Hey guys, I dropped you. Sorry, I dropped you. Let's get this set back up here. This is always interesting. Live feed always interesting. There's always gonna be something that happens. I gotta plug you in too. Ah, there we go. There we go. Holy shit. What was that? So, what'd you say, Dwayne? If he forgets this time, I'll hit you up. So, what was this? Dwayne, he sent me 6 pieces. I did. I put a whole bunch. I was fucking drunk. And I packed up Ken's stuff and just dropped a bunch of them in the box. There's probably like, 5 or 6 of them. So, we're talking about these. These are my Gen 2s. This one is going to have removable hardware. Dwayne, it will, I promise, because I told you it would. So now you can see the blade profile on this versus the blade profile on this. Can you see how the blade, instead of having that upswept blade, it's got a drop to it. The blade's a little bit wider. The knife overall in dimensions is larger. Well, not really much larger. But you can see I've made some changes. See, when you stand them next to each other, you can see how much this blade came up, and now this blade drops down. So, this is the first one I ever made. and I realized that I didn't like the blade being so shallow. Now, you're going to lose a little bit of width in the grind. When you grind it, you will lose some of that material. But the other thing, one of the other most obvious differences is shape of the finger choil. And you can see, like I said, the blade on this one, there we go, has a drastic change in the profile. I like this. I love this knife, but I felt that upswept, that being higher didn't do exactly what I wanted it to do. So, Gen 2s. And Dwayne's is the first one to get made. Definitely giving a shout out right now. If you guys haven't noticed, Bird gave me a shout out in his video about the anodizing and things like that. And I just got a text from Matt, the guy that does my sheets. So Matt is a guy down in Florida, Armitage Carry. I want to get this out of the way. I told him I was going to do it. I love Matt. He gets stuff back to me. His prices are really freaking reasonable. And I've never had anything come back that was not just perfect. They come back. They look great. He did this one so you guys can see how one of these rides. Hang on a second. Drop this down a little bit. Drop this down a little bit. Sorry, earthquake. These things ride awesome. And this is the one that was my daughter's knife. It's the prototype for what I'm going to call the... I think I'm going to call it the Scorpion, but I'm not sure. So, bring you back up. Line you back up. Hey, what's up, Tristan? I do not know what the boys' plans are for Blade Show. So, you know, it's all up in the air for them. They've been busy. I was there, or like I said, I was there earlier today. What's up, Vinny? Was there earlier today, and Vinny, I'm going to mention something about these Vipers that's probably going to make you happy. When I got ready to, I'm feeling a little bit better. When I got to looking at some of the knives, and Vinny mentioned it, Vinny, it wasn't a horrible thing, but, you know, my knife was ground the same as his. This is my prototype. Well, not so much dropping the angle. When I got it done, I thinned the blade stock. It is, these are about 0.20. These are about 0.18. That, it doesn't seem like it'd be that much of a difference, but I mean, it is visibly thinner, which means the angle is going to be a little bit less. This was pretty thick blade stock. They were pretty substantial. And I cut this angle back because Vinny had said that his just didn't cut the way he wanted. Now, in my defense, Vinny is the only person that has complained about the way it cuts, because Vinny does things different with his knives than I do. This was not meant to be like a full-on user. It was like a backup knife. It was something nice to have around your neck, and they were pretty easy to resharpen. So I ground mine back. You can see I marked, I tried to duplicate on a picture. I marked a line on there with a marker, and I brought the angle back. And I'm not 100% sure that I'm seeing a big difference. And so with that in mind, when I did the double disc grind on these, I had everything taken down a little bit thinner. These were done a little thinner because this one was the prototype, and it wound up being extremely thin because it took a warp, and I had to grind the warp out of it, which meant that this wound up being about the same thickness. As a matter of fact, it wound up exactly the same because that's what I based it on. The blade thickness on the prototype, which was thinner than all the others. And so those things got taken into consideration. I just got these blanks back not too long ago. Oh, one of the other things that I changed, that was a little bit flat, and I wanted it to have a little bit of a rounded shape to it. So instead of that being flat like that one is, this one has a bit of a radius to it. What was that? Tristan? They're 125 though, right? What? These? These are still the same price because when everybody was like, I got water jet done on it. These are 0.18. 0.125 is just a little too thin. A little bit too thin. These are 0.18. So, what stones should you start with? Start with cheap ones on cheap knives, just so that you can get your technique down. But another thing that changed is the shape. Kingstone's yeah, that's a good. This one has a long, drawn-out shape to it. It's straighter, if you look. This one has more of a pronounced drop on that. I made a couple that had that, and I really liked it because it gave a little bit more meat behind the edge. So basically what I'm getting at, guys, is I was letting you guys know. So you see there's, what I got here? 5 of these here. There's 5 of them in the oven. Yeah, I sell these. So I have 5 of them that are in the oven that I'm going to heat treat tomorrow. I got them prepped today. Ground them to size. When you get water jet, they're never even, never straight. I brought out an example to show you. There's a definite bevel. They're not straight. It's higher and lower on one side. There's parts that have to be ground. And you grind this. You still have to do a lot of grinding. But not like I have to use the angle grinder and things like that. So this is a blank canvas. I have 12 of these. I think I have 7 of them spoken for. I have 50 of these. 50 of these. And I want to say I got 12 of them ready for heat treat today. There was an issue with the thickness when I ordered the material. I didn't pay attention to what I ordered, what I signed for, and they came out at 0.28, and I needed them at 1.8, and so they went to double disc grind. And so they went to double disc grind, and the thing of I can't anodize steel. That is a ceramic coating that I can put on them. I heat treat them in-house up at Elliot's shop. Elliot lets me use the heat treat ovens. It's the handle options for fixed blades, whatever you want, but know the fact that you got to pay. So the knife is $400. The knife is $400. That's the base price on it because of all the steel and work that went into it and the hours it still takes to grind it and all that. Handle options. Basically, I'm going to get some stuff and have it on hand. And once I get it on hand, some of that stuff's just going to be like the basic bitch, just like this. Keep in mind it's carbon fiber. But just basic pins. I am going to pin them all with 3 pins as opposed to 2 now. But I'm going to get the stuff to do removable hardware, which is more difficult, costs more. So each knife's going to be a little bit different. But the base price is $400. I'm not getting my big head reading comments. I know I'm awesome. I don't need anybody else to tell me. Yeah, see, I don't need anybody else to tell me. I know I'm fucking awesome. I'm the coolest motherfucker I know. But no, it's just I finally got the stuff in. Half the blade like the red. The large blades, right now, I'm not doing color on until I can figure a way. Do I have a design video? No, but we can talk about the design purpose of the Hornet. Would you like to? We could do that. And talk to you about buying a neck knife. Sadly, I lost my job. Hey, Dominic, don't worry. I got 50 of them. Vinny, I wasn't talking to you. Somebody else asked if I wanted to talk about the design and purpose of this knife. So, as a lot of you guys know, I was in the military for the majority of my adult life, or worked for the Department of Defense in all those years. And I got issued knives that were just never something that I felt was usable. It was, I'll block you, Vinny. I can put you in timeout. This is sick me. I'll sick you. I'm already sick. But at any rate, there were knives that were issued to us, and we would carry them and shit like that, and they never really served a purpose except as, you know, a combat tool. But you would have other things that you needed to do besides kill someone. So I took, exactly, Ken, I took a utility style knife and made something that I was like, okay, I want it to have the functionality of something like this, but the capability of a K-bar and things like that. And so what I did was I took a utility style blade that you can still, all kinds of purchase. You can get up on it. You can do utilitarian tasks up close because it's not fucking this big. And then I used the fact that I've taken martial arts for years and I knew what I would want. Multiple, I can get up here and I can do cuts like that. But if I really want to reach out, I've got this well here and I can get a hold of that in there and I can extend my distance for a snap cut. Ooh. Or I can get here, I can get here, I can get here. Depends on how I want to use it. But a lot of times guys like the fact that they can get a knife in a reverse grip. Looks cool, right? But if you're going to do that, you want a thumb ramp. I put a nice thumb swell. And the nice thing is, I didn't do this like silly putty where it's either you got to have big hands to carry it and it's comfortable, or you got to have small hands to get your fingers in the choil. I made those fairly decently sized. And same on this one. These ones are a little bit more pronounced, but you don't have to either have really big fingers or small fingers. It should be comfortable in all hands. And I like having a thumb ramp that I can get up on or pull back on, depending on what I'm going to use it for. And I made it so that the handles didn't have to be so ungodly thick, so it's more comfortable to carry. The handles on these ones are going to be a little bit thicker, because I've realized that while that's pretty comfortable, a thicker handle is going to be a little bit more comfortable. And then I send them to, like I said, I send them to Matt in Florida for sheaths. And so, blade length, let's see, on a Gen 1's, blade length was from the plunge line, sharpened portion was 4 1/4. 4 1/4 on the prototype, and that's what I kind of tried to stick with. These I'm figuring are going to be right at 4. So these are a little bit, not really. No, they're about the same. They're about the same length. So you're looking at about a 4-inch blade on the Gen 2s. Nice and light. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. I polished this one up a little bit, and it's got carbon fiber handles because I had a buddy that said he wanted it after I made the prototype. And this, let's see, I sharpened this up real good. Let's see. Bird used it pretty extensively when he had it. Let's see. Corey, or I'm sorry, not Corey. Jeremy just got his sent out in the mail. Jeremy out there in Texas. 20 CV. My rank, I was an E6 in the military. I was a E6 in the Navy. I can talk about the knives and the beer and the stones. The cocaine, I'll leave that to you, Vinny. Knives and stones. Not the cocaine. I'm good with no cocaine. But yeah, I mean, a lot of guys in the military would have, you know, they have their combat knife, but then they'd also have a knife like this because they needed something for a utilitarian purpose. And if you look, it looks a lot like that. And then I'm going to get this one done because this is kind of just a utilitarian knife. This is just a utility knife. It's all this is. So I was aiming to split the difference between these two. You know what I mean? Blade shape's kind of similar. Are we talking about later this week? He's going to get in touch this week. I did marble carbon fiber on this. What? What? These I haven't made any yet. No, it's got to be something. It's got to be something venomous. I had to explain that to my daughters. What do you mean poisonous? I was like, no, venomous. She looked at me and I was like, she's really smart, but she's just never heard it because I never gave it to her. I was like, okay, if you bite it and you get sick, it's poisonous. If it bites you and you get sick, it's venomous. I keep trying to give Matt a shout out, but anyway, Matt at Armitage Carry does my sheaths, and I couldn't be happier with any of the stuff. He's done probably 30 sheaths now for me, 20 or 30? At least 20. He's done at least 20 for me because I've made probably about 20 of the neck knives. They hold up real well. They always come back gorgeous. He matches colors. Vinny's came back ultra special. And then all I did was complain about the fucking knife. Oh, it's fucking not thin enough. The angle's too steep. I'm from New Jersey. I'm gonna complain about stuff. I love you, Vinny. But no, I just putting that out there that these knives are coming available real quick. Like I said, I've got 5 of them in the oven for tomorrow. I got these 6. Actually, I have 10. There's more in the box. I have a bunch of these. There's 6 here. I can do ceramic coating. I'm thinking about doing, I got put in touch with a guy at Blade HQ. If you ever start making those protos for sale, I love the design, need a small fixed blade. I actually am going to find, there's some pieces of steel. I'm going to make a couple of them as one-offs. I'm not going to wait till I get the steel. So, no, it's already got a name. It's the Scorpion. And if somebody already has used the name for the Scorpion, it's going to be the Bark Scorpion. What's up, Butterland? So, yeah, if you guys are, this was basically just for me to plug my knives. If you guys you should probably listen to the Knife Nuts podcast. I got a shout out for doing Bird's Knife. And I just got done talking to Brian Nadeau. I was talking to him. I was like, I heard you guys talk about it. Did you at least like the Anno I did? He said, oh yeah, it looked good. He said, I just, it looked better than the purple. Couldn't figure out why Bird, even though he tried to recommend against it, went with the purple. Did who get a card? Bird doesn't need a card. Bird and I talk daily. That's why, Dwayne, you don't need a card. You and I talk almost daily. Pretty much daily. I have some knives coming from Hawaii from a guy that is my Patreon subscriber. I am going to do a Patreon shout out video this weekend sometime, and just a shout out for everybody on because, like I said, that's where this canopy that I'm currently, and the light that I'm under is currently sitting from. I really do need to get this. Like, even if you guys aren't interested in knives, recommend them to other people. If you flame Anno titanium with a lock bar, weaken. That's, when you add heat to titanium, it starts to brittle. And if you, it just depends on what you're going to do. I can't buy me a Norseman. How would I buy you one? My wife and I are arguing about the fact that I spent all of our money when I quit my job and was trying to get this off the ground. And now it's starting to become profitable, hit and miss, here and there. It is becoming, I've paid my mortgage this month without it coming out of my without it coming out of my savings account, which is a good thing. But no, we had a big argument about the fact that she's like, well, we had this much money and now we have this much money. And I was like, I know. I quit my job last year and started this business. I'm still building a client basis. I gotta have customers, and I don't mean the knife making. I mean the knife sharpening. And the thing is, I wish people stop making knives at M390. I sharpen knife M390 for somebody that stays sharp for fucking ever. The M390 and 20 CV. I haven't fucking had to resharpen anybody's knives in a while. But no, it's trying, and it has its ups and downs. But I was really depressed yesterday after talking to my wife, and then I remembered I got a whole box of knife blanks that I got to get made and sold. I can't worry about where I'm at right now. I have to worry about where I need to get to, and the only way to do it is buckle down and just fucking go to work. That's all there is to it. Make YouTube videos, people see it, gets around, people find out. But that's what it is. Something when the knife actually comes out. Fellow knife addicts. Cedric Steele will. No, because I don't put any stock in cut tests. I don't put any stock in those cut tests. Oh, I'm going to cut all this natural fiber rope. Well, great. Did you do it the exact same way? What's best way is lowering your price for a single grind neck knife. Yeah, but the problem is, right now, I'm at the point where I'm almost making nothing on the neck knives. I really am not. When you look at steel, got purchased, double disc grind, I had to pay for that. Water jet, abrasives. I'm not making hardly anything on them. I'm gonna probably recoup the cost of the steel and then some and be able to get some more, but it's just going to take time. The sharpening business, the sharpening service is what really I'm hoping takes off, because I can make knives as a hobby, which is kind of what it was intended to be. The sharpening is my prime focus. That's all the money I have made this month has come from knife sharpening or anodizing. I didn't sell any knives this month except for I auctioned off the green Hornet. I didn't even think about that. It's the green Hornet. Damn it. I know it's more customers always the best business plan, but being able to afford our mortgage and not have to live under an overpass is optimal. So I just decided that I was going to keep my price structure the same. It's not like people were like, oh, you got water jet, so you should be able to, you got your stuff water jet out this time. You should be able to lower prices on your knives. I was like, I pay for steel, pay for water jet, pay for shipping, pay for double disc grind, and I still have to do, there's a significant amount of rough grinding that has to happen on these because they don't come out perfect from water jet. And I was like, I really can't. All it does is allow me to not take 2 days just to get the rough blanks cut out and basically make those knives for free. Almost like a tent with no sides. So, but I mean, basically that's kind of what I was doing at the price point before. I was spending so much time just doing a rough cutout. Take 3 days to get 5 knives. 3 days to get 5 knives to this, to be able to put them in water jet. So, I was able to do these 6. Four. There's 4. There's 4 in the oven, and I got these ones done, and there's another stack about this size. So I think I did 12 cleanup on those today. But the flip side is, my whole day tomorrow is going to be spent doing heat treat. It takes a whole day for 4 blades. I can do 5 at a time. That means to get 20 knives done, it's going to take me or 25 knives. To get 25 of these heat treated and ready to go, it's going to take me 5 days. I can only put 5 in the oven at a time. It takes several hours just to do the get the oven to get up to critical. And you gotta let it cool down. You can't just throw blades in there. You have to let them slowly ramp up to critical. Then you have to quench them. Then they have to spend 4 hours, 2-hour cycles at 1,000 degrees in the other oven for anodizing. What was that? But there are a lot of neck knives out there. Apostle P is coming out with a cool one with a lot more work. I know what the price point is for these. I went to a very reputable source when I priced it, which was Elliott Williamson at Fair and Forged Knife Works. These ones for 130, and I can do one color ceramic. Yeah, here's the thing. I have to send mine off to I send mine off to Florida. The only reason they're not 100 is because I have to send them to Florida to get a sheath, pay shipping, and as a matter of fact, I'm eating the shipping. I'm eating half the shipping. So I can just ceramic coat them, not anodizing, yeah, ceramic coat them, coloring. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Elliot knows what he's talking about. So I can do either one color ceramic or blast and tumble, which actually looks really cool. I'm going to do a bunch of them. Blast and tumble, and then I get them off to get the sheaths after I grind them, and then they go out the door. I can't not make profit. It's a business. I'm not trying to argue semantics here or fucking your point, but the thing is, they're all American made. They're all American steel, and everybody I went to is an American vendor. I can't not make a profit at this point. I have to. I have invested into this. I have to be able to make a profit. And if I do it for less, I'm really not making a profit. I'm not. I would be losing money. I would be doing it for free. I would do it for more than free. I'd be paying. Basically, I'd be paying to make knives. So I don't know how Apostle P's planning on doing his. I don't know what he's got going on in his plans. But if he's got a design coming out that he's farmed out to someone, then that's a different story than him making them by hand. What was that? So, but that's it. I've got to get out of here. I've got stuff I've got to do here. That's the case. What's the case? See? He's not making them. He sold a design to someone. So there's a definite difference between making them yourself and making a design, and then they go for $100 for God only knows what the steel is. Who knows? I know that mine are probably the best knife steel that's out there pretty much right now. The best all-around knife steel, the 20 CV. They're heat treated in-house. I heat treat them myself. I grind them myself. I ceramic coat them myself. I sharpen them myself, if you pay to sharpen them. I send them off. The only thing I don't do is make the sheath. And Matt does that by hand, and I pay him for it. So, big difference between Apostle P designing a knife and it is exactly the same. Noah, it is exactly the same. 204P, M390, 20 CV, all the same. And I'm not gonna lie to you. So these come off with, these are gonna come out with a belt grind edge. And if you want it hand sharpened, I'll do that, because that's another thing that I basically was spending an hour and a half sometimes per knife. So, well, that's what this is. This is a stone. This is just a blasted with some ceramic coating on the spine, if I can get it to focus, on that faceted pattern I do. I get big hands. They still come out real comfortable. Hang on a second, guys. I need beer. I got my favorite kind. Favorite kind of beer. Favorite kind of beer. What was that? I do have the basic. Even if you want the basic, I'm still gonna give you the option of ceramic. Black ceramic, red ceramic, green ceramic, blue ceramic. Well, blue comes out turquoise, but the ceramic is a nice coating. It doesn't allow it to rust. It wears really well. I have my favorite beer, which is free. I had a guy give me this. I had a guy bring me a straight razor. And it was a handmade Damascus straight razor. And I got ready to start to sharpen it, and I could have been a douchebag. Polishing the spine would be... Actually, polishing the spine would cost you more, because if I have to polish that thing, it's pain. Hey, Barry. Can you do a badass... Yeah, I'm not a pimper. Now I forget what I was fucking saying. Polishing the spine? That takes forever. Ceramic coating just the spine? That's easy. That's not hard at all. Matter of fact, just ceramic coat the whole thing. Hand polish, 15 minutes? No. Oh, Damascus razor. So he brings me this Damascus razor, and it was so poorly ground. It was very badly ground, and I couldn't really tell. You can't tell. A lot of times, like, I tell customers when they would send me pictures, I had to tell them send me pictures of knives, and I say, you know, when I sharpen a knife, I'm not going to be able to tell you how bad it is till I get on a stone, because you're not going to be able to see it. I put this guy's razor on the stone, and the spine did not marry up with the edge at all, and I was looking at how much work it was going to be for me to sharpen that, and I called the guy. I was like, look, here's the thing. How much did you pay for this? He told me how much you paid for it. And I was like, it's going to cost you more to sharpen it than the razor is worth. And he's like, well, what do I owe you? And I was like, dude, you don't owe me anything. I spent maybe 10, 15 minutes on it before I realized, it wasn't going to be something that was going to be easy at all. And so the guy shows up, and he's like, well, at least let me get you a 6-pack. He's like, what do I owe you? He's like, I'm not going to charge you nothing. Just, I'll hold on to it for you. I'll clean it up after I get done. And so... asked me if I want a 6-pack of beer. I was like, yeah. He goes, what do you want? I was like, dude, whatever's cheap and plentiful. Fucking, I'm not trying to fucking break your wallet for you to bring me a 6-pack of beer because I couldn't sharpen your razor. I was like, dude, you didn't bring me anything. I wasn't able to do it. Well, I could have 3 days, and I would have had to have 2 other people and a dog and a boy for moral support. It would have taken forever. So you guys like this one? I am debating whether I really like this knife design or not. I do like it, but I don't know. It's definitely going to have to be thicker. I used a thin piece. It would probably wind up being thicker than this, a good bit thicker than this. I would do a full flat grind on it. And I would not do that stepped thing that my daughter wanted, where it didn't even come out real pretty. But the logo did. That logo came out cool. Super, super light. Nobody got anything to say to me? Y'all mad because I'm charging $130 for a neck knife? That's what it is. Hello, Canada. I don't know yet. I gotta see. That was one of the first knives that I designed. Cool. That was one of the first knives that I designed, and I never got around to grinding it. I was going to try and get it done for Christmas. I didn't get it done for Christmas, and when I found out my daughter got accepted into that Performing Arts Academy down the road, I wanted to do something to congratulate her, so I jumped on it real quick. I finished the knife, got it ground, got handles. But I heard you, Dwayne. Jesus. How many times you gonna say it? Oh. You only said it once. Keep popping. Dwayne, your comment just keep popping up. I don't know. Depends on handle materials, stuff like that. The big fixed blades are going for about 400. No matter how much smaller a knife is, it's every bit as much work. The only thing about that one being easier was it was thinner material. If I use this style, if I use this thickness, it's going to be, well, that's a 0 chisel grind, which is akin to or cousin to a Scandi. But the reason I did it was, if you take this and you get a piece of wood, a nice square piece of wood, and wrap a piece of 600 grit sandpaper around it, you only have to worry about one edge, and you only have to set that angle. And it's, now let's see. I use the fuck out of it. I do use the hell out of it. So it might not do what I want to do. So you gotta remember, that's still just that's the belt. That's the belt edge. And it's been used and used. Well, I don't know if I'm allowed to say or not. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say about where Bird is from. Bird is a really private kind of guy. Yeah, I can make a knife hair split sharp. There we go. That's all it was. Just needed to. These ones are really. So the reason I designed this like this is because it's basically for like popping stuff. And so it fits really good right in there. So, you know, have it around your neck, cut something off, put it back in the sheath. Chisel ground, easy to maintain. Ish. That one has an issue. Well, there should be no issue getting this to Canada. Or that fixed blade. They just have weird... That's illegal. Oh my goodness. Give out weight of Viper. Don't know. Don't know. I don't have a scale. I don't... It's a lot lighter than this. Just get a banana. I don't have a scale, so I really don't know. Nico's got one. Somebody was asking if I can get a knife hair popping sharp. this is the metrics I use to see if a knife's sharp. If I can just hold it just like that. And this has been used a bunch too. Nico is doing the dip job on the giveaway, and it's coming out amazing. I imagine we'll get to see it this weekend. Get to see it this weekend, and then I'm going to do, I have another knife that is going to be a giveaway strictly for Patreon members. There's like 19 of them. I have a knife. We'll see what happens with it. I don't know whether it's something every 70 grams. Okay, what's that in freedom units? Is that a pound? 2.5 ounces. There we go, 2.5 ounces. I'm selling this too. I'm gonna do a video strictly about this. I've been carrying this a little bit. It's a Benchmade that I'm surprised I've acquired a like for. So you remember I did the video about freedom units. I did the video about the 940 and how I love the 940. I wish it was made by any other company. I really do, because I'm conflicted about the fact it's Benchmade. And then I was given this one. I was given this one. See, that's not what it was for. Stop it, cat! You're tearing it up. The Viper was not. That's not what it was designed for. It was designed more for a jogger wants a knife. Somebody wants a knife that they can carry pretty easily. That's not. As much as I hate to admit it, that right there is nowhere as aggressive looking as that. And this is a small knife. It's something that you could have a knife for cutting and doing small tasks and things like that. What I really thought about was like when I used to go camping, and when I would go camping, we would go camping. Like, we didn't take shit. Took a little bit of water, you took some knives, and basically you had a big knife, you had a hatchet, and you had, you know, something else, but it was always kind of inconvenient to have to dig around and pull a pocket knife out. And so I was like, well, if you got something that's easy to use, and it's just basically so you can get in there, you can put some pressure on it, and it's good and sharp. And so I tried a bunch of neck knives and never liked it. I never liked any of the neck knives. And then when this was an accident. This knife was designed strictly for me to have something to hold on to and practice doing edge grinds right and left-handed. And when I got done with it and ground the edge on it, Elliot looked at it and he's like, probably sell that. And I looked at him and was like, what? He's like, yeah, you probably sell that. And so I made a couple of them, and I asked Elliot, I was like, what should the price point be looking at? He told me, and they were $100 for a very long time until I had to start getting sheaths made. I had a guy here local. I could drive to his house and he would make sheaths for me. I'd make 2 or 3 here and there, and he just got to the point where I would get a knife to him, and it would take weeks and weeks and weeks before I get a sheath, and then he basically told me he couldn't do it anymore. And that's when I started sending him a mat at Aramis Carry. And so the knife basically is the same price. I can send you the knife if you want to make your own sheath. And I have no problem with that. But like I said, that's, you know, one of those things. And then we looked at how long Elliot watched me the one day. He goes, how many of those did you do today, sharpening wise? It's like, I think I did 3, and I was there all day. And he goes, you got to start charging for that, or you're doing it for free. So I take most of my cues on how I should do things when it comes to this kind of business by what Elliot tells me. Jovan, send me a text. Send me a text with a picture of it. I can't. That's another thing, you guys. I don't actively go and look at knife catalogs and look at the next thing that's coming out. when I get something cool that comes in, I'll probably do a video about it. But I had so much stuff come in, and I was trying to get stuff out the door. I had 3 really, really nice knives that I sharpened yesterday afternoon. I was sick. I sharpened 6 or 7 knives yesterday. I was sick, and I'm feeling a lot better today, but I still am not 100%. But I was thinking about doing the videos, but I would much rather just get them done and get them out to customers. If I have somebody sends me a knife, they're like, yeah, just hold on to it. Okay, but, you know, are you going to pay me and then I can ship it after? Because that's the whole point, is get them in, get them out the door. I had knives that came in yesterday that got sharpened yesterday. The Theraflu, I think, helped. What was that? The Viper is something that looks handy. It is. It is. And, I mean, I can do them pretty plain, but when you do a color, like a one-color ceramic on it, even if you only want it in a surface, like if you only want the spine done, I'm still only charging you for one-color ceramic. It's when I have to do and mask and do several different colors, that's when they start getting complicated. And because basically I have to do one color, blast off whatever I don't want, and then do the next color. Have you seen any of the ProLine stuff? Yes, I have, and no, I cannot give you any details. Well, for Nico, that's like a full-size knife. I actually had a couple in leather sheaths. My cousin Jake actually has one that has a leather sheath. This one? Yeah. So that's what I was showing. I've got these ones are ready to go into heat treat so I can grind them. Wink if there's... I can't... What do you want me to wink? I can't wink. I can't tell you anything. I am part of the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement with Fair & Forge. I'm not allowed to tell you guys stuff like that. I'm not even allowed to tell you guys if you guys text me and ask me if your knife is being worked on. I can't tell you. I get in trouble for that. I got yelled at for it. So it... Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities that might come out of the ProLine. Who knows? Whatever gets in fucking Elliot's crazy brain of his. But no, I had... That's not fair, Dwayne. Now I can't finish my beer, because now you're going to get lied to. This is not an indication of anything that's happening with the ProLine. I had talked to someone whose knife had come in, and I said, hey, you know, well, it did this. It went from here to here. So I don't know what the status is, but I know that it moved. And Chris read me the riot act. And I was like, he's like, it's not fair to you, and it's not fair to us. And I 100% agree with him, because it does wind up putting me... You guys all know that I'm really good friends with Chris and Elliot. I spend a lot of time at the shop. And it puts me in a situation where I am giving up information about their business, which I shouldn't be doing. And if I have not heard anything about any of what they've got planned, I have seen prototypes, but I have not heard any definites. But it puts them in a situation where they come back and say, well, Mike said this, and then I'm in a situation where I told someone something that might not necessarily be true, because just because it moved did not mean there was any forward movement. And so it's not fair to them, it's not fair to me, and it's not fair to you guys. So don't ask me anything about what's going on at Fair & Forge, because I'm not going to tell you. They put stuff out. They put stuff out regularly. Which is why I was surprised. I don't know how Vinny missed the fucking con. So basically, I'm in a non-disclosure agreement with them, so you're not going to get any of that shit from me. Go and visit Fair & Forge. There's a lot of times that they'll tell people that. It's like, look, you can't tell anybody, but this is what we got going on. So, 54 minutes. I have no knives to sharpen. Guys, get on the ball. I'm drunk. There's Jake. So Jake actually has one of the 2 or 3 that went out with leather slips. So it was not, he paid extra for it. I had one for it. It was not a full sheath. It was just a leather slip, and it allowed you to pocket. This is the Viper. Yeah, that leather slip lets you, like, if you're, I probably should get some more, but the guy that made them for me, I can't even get a hold of him anymore. And they were expensive too. Can I get an S90V Spyderco sharper than the factory edge it came with? Yes, because Spydercos are not famous for having their edges are sharp, but they're usually still have a burr and stuff on them, and they're still pretty coarse. Yes, I can do that. Is that even a question? What would I recommend for beginners with heat treat? Go with, it depends on how you're doing heat treat. No, I cannot get a Rockstead sharper than the factory. I can get it as sharp as the factory, but I can't get it sharper. Those have got to be some of the scariest, sharpest knives I have ever handled. And I have sharpened one. But I couldn't get it any sharper than it came. I got it as sharp. I would approximate. I got it as sharp as it came from the factory. It was one of the ones in ZDP 189. And it was not a mirror polish. Neck knives and Kydex. Well, I don't do the Kydex, so I have to pay for the Kydex. The neck knives start at 130, and that gets you either blasted and tumbled, that's a really nice finish for, you know, something that's going to get used a lot and beat around, so you're not, you know, scratching the ceramic, or one color ceramic. And they all come with this faceted pattern traction. They really do. They give you a little bit of a grippy purchase here on the thumb. Not quite as they're still pretty slick, but it's not quite as bad as when I was doing them all slippery, smooth. So that's an hour, guys. I don't want to keep this more than an hour. So my phone number is always at the beginning of my videos. Do you do a Viper and ZDP? No, I only have. I've been to Seki. Buy the steel, huh? Well, here's the thing. You're going to need the dimensions. And you're going to have to ship it from wherever you're at. And it's got to be the right thickness. Because I want to keep them. I'm wanting to keep them right at the 0.18. So get in touch with me if that's something you want to do. I don't think it would. I don't think it would. You're not going to find much of a better steel than 20 CV. 20 CV, M390, 204P. M4? M4 is pretty good, but I don't think that you're going to find that it performs any better than this when it's heat treated the way we do it. Because I don't send these out for heat treat. I heat treat them myself. I heat treat them. I take them to 2200 degrees. I quench them. Then I cycle them once at 1000 degrees for 2 hours, and then I let them cool. And then I cycle them again for 2 hours at 1000 degrees. And you wind up and you get the maximum wear resistance, maximum impact resistance, and maximum hardness that you can get out of 20 CV. And if anybody has ever felt one of Elliot's custom knives in 20 CV that he heat treated himself, holy crap. Mine are. That's what these are. And they hold an edge for fucking ever. So I don't think... he doesn't use 20 CV. I talk to CM. I talk to CM all the time. You mean Big fucking Kitty? Yeah, I talk to Big Kitty all the time. I talked to him the other day. I'm trying to get him to come down here. I just said the hardness of my knives is right at 64 Rockwell. Yeah, 20 CV will hold. 20 CV will hold an edge that a lot of knives won't. The 20 CV, it was made for. It's a high-speed cutting tool steel, high-speed tool steel, and it was used for the plastics industry. And it's super, super wear resistant. It's hardened right. It's super impact resistant, and it just keeps cutting forever. And that's what it was made for high-speed cutting of plastic, which is really abrasive. For a lot of people don't think it is, but polystyrene and other plastics are really, really abrasive, resistant, and very, very hard on cutting tools. And so that's the thing. I don't know. I never got to mess with it. I don't own a hinderer. Like I said, guys, if you guys don't send it to me for me to test, I sharpen it, it goes right back out the doors. That's all it is. And Knives Before Wives Smith. What's up, bro? I mean, I'll do it, but you got to remember, it's going to cost a little bit more because I'm going to have to go back and step backwards in time to do the process. It's such a pain in the ass. God, I'll do it. I'll do it. If you send me ZDP, I'll do it. But I get to keep any scrap. Mike, BSNSCR. Last time, I swear. Business card. Would I get a discount if I send you something to test, then sharpen? No. Because I know how I'm going to test it, and I'm still going to have to sharpen it, and that doesn't make any sense to me. That makes no sense. Here, we want you to test this. And then I know what I'm going to do to it. Be like, oh, shit. And then have to resharpen it? No, it's probably going to cost you more. HT recipe. No, there's nothing to fine tune. This one's perfect. For LMAX and 20CV. Elliot did LMAX the same way. The same heat treat. And it is ridiculous. Ridiculous. No, if you make it in ZDP, what? Don't know. Like I said, guys. Okay, last time I'm going to say it for this video. Unless you guys have sent it to me, I've probably never seen it. And most of the time, you guys are going to see it in a live feed because I'm sharpening it, and that's when I do live feeds most of the time. I just don't have anything sharpened right now. There's a handful of knives out there that are really, really nice, but I just don't like the steel at all. Don't like it at all. Nico, I'll let you borrow my, you can borrow my Pretium for a while. And you can see what it's like. I sharpened that knife once. Once. First time I sharpened it. And it has not been sharpened since. Guys, I have to get off of here. I've got stuff I need to do before my wife gets home and murders me. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Oh, if you guys that are loyal followers, I got a shout out in the Knife Nuts podcast. Yeah, it squeaks on stones. Yeah, it does. So does my 20CV. So, all right, guys, take it easy. If you guys leave comments in these videos, I do respond to them, even in the live feeds. So if you guys are trying to get a hold of me, my phone number should be in the comments below, down here, where the pushed arrow says more. So I'll see you guys later. I gotta get some rest because I'm still not feeling great. I'm trying to get to the shop early tomorrow to start heat treat. Later.